May I have the next slide, please? So the key objectives of IRIS are to stimulate young minds to take an active interest in science, technology, engineering, and maths, to encourage students to use research as a tool for creating new knowledge, and to build a strong scientific temper. I will keep requesting you time and again to switch off your videos and your microphone. We've come to the annual IRIS timeline, and we are right in the middle of the year right now. So this is the best time for you to actually start putting together the synopsis for your innovative research project. You will then be requested to submit your project synopsis online at the IRIS National Fair website. Once we receive all project synopsis, the synopsis will be evaluated by subject category experts or the IRIS Scientific Review Committee. And by the end of October, you will receive an email which lets you know whether you have been invited for the IRIS National Fair. The IRIS National Fair will be held sometime either in December or January of next year. Now, there are a few rules for participation. One of them being that students need to be of Indian origin to participate in the IRIS National Fair, and they should also be studying in schools which are based in India. You can participate in IRIS individually or in a team of 2 students. There are 2 categories, the junior category, which is the 5th to 8th standard, and the senior category, which is the 9th to 12th standard. Students who participate in IRIS should have completed their class 11 exams. They should be studying in class, if in case, I mean, what I'm saying is you can be in either class 9 to class 11. If you are in class 12, you should not yet have completed your class 12 board exam. Students who have finished their class 12 board exams will not be permitted to take part in national fair. So this is just a brief introduction. We now welcome our Honorable IRIS Chairperson, Dr. Sultan Ahmed Ismail. He is the Director of the Ecoscience Research Foundation, Chennai. He was the Head of Department Zoology and Biotechnology at the New College, Chennai. He has done extensive work, both research and applied, on ecology and environment, earthworms and organic inputs since 1978. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Ismail, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
We'd request you to please, yes, thank you, sir. And if you could now take over and address our students.
Oh my God. Thank you, Sharon. Good evening, children. Just trying to tell you because.
Good morning, sir.
Good evening. Yeah, because you people are going to participate in IRIS. Sharon would have told you about IRIS. IRIS is not a fair. IRIS is a passion. Children, it's a platform where you can achieve your dreams. You can occupy. You can reflect your thoughts in a scientific way with a scientific temperament. Thereby, you can achieve laurels, and you also make the country proud. So please have your innovative thoughts in your minds. Whatever innovation you have had for so many years, bottled up in that children, my humble request to you is that if you can mute your mic and get back to us during the discussion session, you can open your mics because it keeps interfering and making noises here and there. Humble request to you, Harshit, everybody, just please see to it that you shut your mics. Yeah, good, very good. So, how any of these thoughts which you had, kindly bring it up. Almost every one of us from the scientific review committee, wonderful people, professors, directors, scientists working in different branches of science, would be listening shortly or interacting with you at one point or other. I work on animal sciences and I am in charge for animal sciences. Basically, I'm a zoologist. I had some remarkable ideas in mind, that reality, and which became popular and which many farmers are using in my country and abroad. So, children, I thought I'll talk to you about animal sciences. You see, when you talk about animal sciences, it's not just zoology. You can think about anything. Anything that is living. Will spare the plants because there is a separate professor in charge for botany, right? Animals can be related with anything, any animal. When I tell animal, it's a specimen right from protozoans till mammalia. So even if you are associated with some knowledge which can be useful for veterinary sciences, or maybe for poultry sciences, or maybe for fishery sciences, the choice is yours. The field is wide open. Only thing is, this innovation should be something unique, something extraordinary, something which makes you thrill, something which can give you something new. It should not be available when supposing you suggest to me that you're going to do this, and I ask Google uncle, is this already done? Google should not say, हाँ बेटा ये हो गया है. Is that clear? So it should be something unique and different. Now, if I think in those parameters, because Sharon said that I can concentrate on this for about 10 minutes on animal sciences, I was thinking, what animal sciences can you think about? There is nothing which can be exclusive of animals. We are animals. We ourselves are animals. Is that clear? So you can think about animals in relation to ecology. We presume that we are also animals, right? Fine. So ecological relationship with organisms, ethological, because animals also behave. Different animals behave in different ways. Animals, then you have physiology of animals. If you can work out something, supposing I do a lot of work on composting. There are lots of bioenzymes available. There are lots of components available. People say that this works better, that works better. But if you come with something unique, you are changing the dimensions of this world. And who knows, you get a planet on your name. You have biochemistry, which is associated with animals. Animal biochemistry is a wide scope of subject, different enzyme compositions, different functioning modules. And then you have microbiology, even though we have a separate professors who would be discussing with you on microbiology. But animal microbiology itself is something unique. Why? COVID-19 is also related to microbiology. So, you can relate anything with microbiology, any organism, animals with microbiology, and make it interdisciplinary and interactive. In that case, I would like to mention you the most recent topic, which is making a dynamic coming back, is zoonosis. Please remember zoonosis, ZOONOSES, or zoonotic diseases. These are diseases which move from animals to human beings, and corona is one of them. There are different views of corona, how environment has influenced bringing in corona, how this sort of animal human conflicts have resulted in coming into corona. So zoonosis can be a wonderful branch because it is the thrust area today which you people can work on. You can work on the host parasite relationships, the symbiotic associations, how mammals are getting involved, how various types of mammals, like for example, bats were said to be responsible from the wet market to transfer this virus. So how these mammals are interactive. And then you also have lots of things which causes carcinogenesis. There is teratogenesis impact on animals. Teratogenesis is how the embryos are formed and how they get deformed. Can be good. And of course, FCR. Last year we had one student who worked on FCR. Anybody from Goa? I don't mean to say it is fish curry and rice. It is food feed conversion ratio. So how feeds convert into something which is very good yield for farmers, for in the case of animal husbandry, various steps of animal husbandry, you can also work on animal human conflict. You would have read in the newspapers recently that an elephant by mistakenly had taken a pineapple and died. So these are called as animal-human conflicts. Can you come out with suggestions which can be different? Why? More so has been the case with locusts. We all know that locusts, at a particular frequency of sound, go away. They don't come close by. They run away. There are certain things with which they can be moved out. Can you plan a frequency which will attract the locust? Can you plan a frequency which will bring the locust towards you? Locust towards you, so that you can trap the locust, convert it into a feed so that you have rich protein feed for all the poultry in India. So there's so much of scope, but certain things you have to be very careful. When you handle animals, you should be very clear that you are handling a lab animal which is permissible to be handled. So you must always go through the guidelines. Children, in case you are handling animals, please see to it that you refer to the National Biodiversity Authority. Find out what are the organisms that have been red listed or yellow listed so that you don't go into that mark. Second, always try to follow the guidelines laid by INSA, Indian National Science Academy, and the CPCSEA. Please remember, CPCSEA, Committee for the Purpose of Control and Supervision on Experiments on Animals. So you see to it that you follow those codes. And I would appreciate that if you have that sort of an idea in mind, that you would like to work on animal sciences, associate yourself with some good reputed institution or a college where they already have permission to conduct experiments using laboratory animals, so that you can always have a certificate which declares that you have been permitted because you have already conducted meetings with people who are responsible for it. But one more thing you must always remember. We have this bad habit of feeding one cat or one rat and say that this has gained weight. No. In the case of all biological experiments, you must satisfy the mandate of the number of animals that are required to be declared that it is functional. So it should be a replicate of experiments, replicates. At the same time, there should be control. You see, if I can say that I am tall, but that is not acceptable. Everybody is tall. Taller than whom and shorter than whom. So I require two controls. I am taller than whom. So that is a negative control, who is shorter than me. And I am shorter than whom? There's a positive control, who is taller than me. So when you plan an experiment, design an experiment, see to it that you have a clear objective as to what you're going to do. Go through back references, go through the internet, meet some professors and scientists whom you know, interact with them, find out how you are going to do, and then you design a hypothesis, whether this is going to work or not going to work. Based on your hypothesis, you will work out that I'm going to do this experiment, and for this experiment, these are going to be the controls. This is going to be a negative control, this is going to be a positive control. And once you decide on the controls, you must decide on the number of animals you're going to use. And based on the number of animals, you find out your results, you put your results together, you collate your results, then you go through statistical analysis, and then you go through the results, and then you go into the details. But one thing is very important. One thing is very, very important. Harshit, please don't put your smaller brother over there and create mischief over there. Now, one thing is very important, that in case you're trying to do some experiments with cells, in case you're going to do some experiments like LC50 or LD50, which people call it as lethal concentration or lethal dose. Lethal concentration or lethal dose. This is not acceptable now. They are all outdated. Please do not attempt any experiment working with lethal concentrations or lethal doses. LC50, LD50 experiments are no more accepted. If at all you want to do on certain things, which you can also do with cell lines, that would be a great achievement. So you can plan experiments with animals or with cell lines and see to it that you are able to achieve. These are the broad things which I wanted to share with you on animal sciences. It's wonderful, which you can try to work on, and hopefully look forward to see you as one of our selected participants. First, we are waiting to receive your abstracts, and from the abstracts, selected participants for the national fair And hopefully, by that time, if COVID-19 everything is got normalized and international travel has materialized, wish to see you at ISEF, at the International Science and Engineering Fair, where I want to see you people get a planet for India. Okay? Good luck to you all. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We will just take questions
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
from the students. So, if in case you need to ask a question, please await your turn. Do not speak over each other, so to say. Please await your turn. Ask your question. Maybe what you're wanting to ask is already asked by someone else and you get the answer. Please do not repeat the questions if you can. When you're asking your questions, of course, please unmute your mic. You can put on your video also and ask the questions. So we will be taking questions now. And we also, meanwhile, we will have a PPT over here, which can, answer those questions. But while the PPT is on, just go ahead and ask your questions.
Welcome, Shrey.
Any questions? Yes, we mentioned this earlier. The participation eligibility is for students of Indian origin from schools based in India. You can participate individually or in a team of 2 students. There are 2 categories: junior category 5 to 8, senior category 9 to 12. Students who have completed their class 12 board exam at the time of project submission will not be permitted to participate. However, if you are in class 12, as in you have just gone to class 12, you can participate. There are 21 subject categories in which you may participate. There are new categories which have been added. Those categories are in gray and I will call them out. They are biomedical and health sciences, biomedical engineering, computational biology and bioinformatics, embedded systems, energy, sustainable materials and design, robotics and intelligent machines, system software.
Yeah, that's wonderful. In fact, they're going to be very, very challenging in that case.
There are some questions.
And there's translation medical sciences also. Yes, may we have the questions?
So the first question that's come in is from Dr. P. Martin, where the question is it possible for us to gain permission for rat testing? And the student says that they have completed their 10th boards.
The students have completed the
Class
Ishita?
10.
Their boards for class 10th.
Yeah, fine. If they are continuing in school for 11th and 12th, then it's okay. But rats can be used. They can take permission. Rats are permitted to be used. Probably you will have to justify. It's so happened in one of the committees when I was associated with CPCSTA. Somebody had put experiments, 4 experiments, and for every experiment they wanted 5 rats, so that is 20. And they wanted 20 controls. Control is only one control. So you must justify. Control is only one. So you wanted only 25, but he wanted a claim for 4. So the project gets rejected. So see to it that you work it out properly.
I have also, good evening, sir. This is Sushma Tyagi. I also have one question.
Yeah.
Are you, actually, this is regarding the COVID, as COVID-19 is going on. Maybe we will not be able to, the conditions may not be feasible to have the projects or something else to be displayed. Can the students just work out in a PPT form and present it in the iris if it is online?
If it is online, it will be presented online, but we require confirmed experiments with justification of all your data.
Okay. Suppose the child has something in his mind and he tries to work out that only on the basis of, so he has not done any experimentation, just he wants that he is trying to display his ideas, but he
It may
is
not
not
be
able to.
acceptable. It may not be acceptable because in science, ideas cannot be accepted as results. In
Yeah,
science, we
I
need concrete results, right?
yes,
So
yes, sir.
we hope and pray that things
That
should
condition.
go well and conditions would go well. If
Yeah,
you
it
can,
was only regarding the conditions I was little bit asking that if conditions did not prevail, then what?
in that case, even iris cannot be held.
Okay.
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 So
Okay.
like we will come out with some suggestions at that point of time. We all
Oh,
expect and hope that things would go normal because you
yes.
people have to submit your abstracts before August 31st. We are trying to motivate you people so that you start planning and put things into order. Now
Okay.
ideas can work. For abstract, your ideas are welcome. Whatever the child has in mind can be translated. In case the child also does some experiments and confirms it, that would be most welcome. Even otherwise, ideas would be welcome. But
Okay.
there are certain branches here where, for example, mathematics and
Yes.
these things only ideas would be put forth with some logical theories and things like that. And we
Okay.
all hope that by September or October, in fact, I was telling my SRC team that look forward to meet you all in October or November.
Yes,
Hopefully,
sir.
things
We
will
all
go
hope
well.
for
Hopefully,
that. Yes,
in
we all
case,
hope
So,
for
yeah,
that, sir. Yeah.
in case if it
Thank you,
doesn't
sir.
happen, we will come
Yes.
back with something else. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
so there's another question where they ask, I go to an international school, hence my boards take place in May. So if I'm selected for ISEF, will I not be able to go?
Well, the choice is with you, not with us. We are ready to take you. In case you don't want to participate, it is your choice.
And so further questions are mostly about how students should find the perfect topic and how they should consider the different categories and subject categories that are available.
At this point of time, you can even broadly select 2, 3 branches. Like, for example, you are trying to work on, particularly, for example, the impact of certain things on the frog and how the frog population is going down. For example, I'm telling you. You are including animal sciences, you are including environmental management, you are including environmental biology, you are including environmental engineering, everything in that. You don't decide on the specialization at this point of time. You work on it. Depending on which is having major thrust in your project, at that point of time, we can classify it. So please use your broad ideas and start with the work. Classifying, we can think later.
So another question
How to
is,
find an appropriate problem? That's your problem, man, not mine. Oh, okay, go ahead, Ishita.
so sir, another question is how IRIS has tied up with other competitions or science fair and how we select the projects from these science fairs.
That I think Shrey, if he continues his presentation, will be able to get it now. Shrey, can you put on that slide, please,
Uh,
from the
so,
NCSC?
so I will add to this one.
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
we do have the winners of 5 national level science fairs who are invited for IRIS. There is a mentoring which happens for the winners of these national fairs, and then these students are encouraged to participate in IRIS. So last year we had taken 5 projects from each of these 5 national fairs that were invited to come for the IRIS National Fair.
Sharon, the age bar is 16, is it?
So they have to, no, they have to be uh, below 20 years of age when they are in class 12.
Right. No, one question has come here. I am 16 in October, sir. Happy birthday, man. I'm also an October born. So what?
But
Hopefully, remember to
if
wish
they,
me in October. Yeah.
so if you go to the IRIS website, the age is clearly called out over there.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
I
I
think,
think
Sharma,
Ishita, can
there's
you please,
a question.
website, can you please put on the website over there, Ishita,
Yes,
on the chat
we will be sharing
for the,
the link at the end of the presentation.
at the end of the presentation?
So, Shanman, there's a question from Arpit where he's actually elaborated a bit on his idea and how it's in the field of water sciences and electronics. So,
Mhm.
again, he's rounding back to the question of what subject category would he be under?
Don't worry about it now, because once you meet our scientific review committee professors or scientists who would be meeting you at the first, that is, if you are selected or when the abstract comes, they would be able to give you more ideas as to where it would be classified. So you just now work on your ideas. That's enough.
So another query is a student is wondering how during the present times will they be working on their projects?
As I told you before, like we all hope that things would go normal. and people who are working on computers, mathematics, I don't think you require a laboratory. You can even sit at home and work on your machines. Those who want to go into wet lab, you will have a problem where you can, at this point of time, you can work on some of the theoretical backgrounds, collect enough references, work out on certain equations, and keep things ready to be tried in the lab. So there you have sufficient time to repeat those experiments at that point of time. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Another question has come in where they're asking if they are dealing with robotics, will they be able to give stimulation data?
No, simulation data, you can, but robotics is a very wide topic. Almost every school is teaching robotics. How is your robotics something distinctly different from what other people have done or doing? That is what gains you. It is not the repetition of just preparing a robo and following a black line on the floor, which every school child does, is not acceptable. Children, please understand the difference between an exhibition and a fair. An exhibition is where you design any experiment you want from the gray boxes of your school textbooks or whatever your teacher teaches you and try to replicate it and show it for a larger gathering is an exhibition. This is a fair where innovation is being considered. So please think what is unique, what would be good, and what would definitely make a point. That is important for us.
So, another question is a student asks, how will they find mentors for their project?
Once you submit the abstract and your abstract fits into something new or novel, which is decided by a committee called as the Scientific Review Committee, brilliant people, very friendly, very warm people, go through it. And even if they find even a slight potential that your project definitely has a potential to gain entry into the ISEF, that is International Science and Engineering Fair, they would select you. Once we select you, then we would invite you for the national fair. Hopefully, things when they go well. When you come at the national fair and display your products, at that point of time, we will select students who really have potential to go to ISCF. So from the national fair, we may select around 20 projects. And then we decide voluntarily, most of our own committee members, they take responsibility to guide or to mentor the student to make your projects work much better. So mentoring at the last moment after the national fair, you leave it to us. We will take care of you. Don't worry about it.
So if you keep looking at the slides also, which are flashing on the screen,
Yeah.
you will see the process for the registration is also being outlined here. Some more questions?
One question is, how can I contact scientists for project experiments?
You see, before you come out with your own idea and reach us in a competition, for example, I am in the scientific review committee. If even my best friend comes and tells me, you give me the idea so that I do a project, I may not give, because we want a honest competition of creative minds. So it is your potential where you design, you meet your people, you contact your teachers, your mentor, and through your local mentor, who can be your teacher, who can be your father, your brother, your mother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle. It can be anybody can be your mentor. And once your mentoring is over, and once you get selected in the national fair, once we select you at the national fair for the ISEF, then you become our responsibility. Till that time, you will have to come because it is your competition where you are trying to be with your peer group. So we cannot be biased in guiding somebody to see to it that you are better than somebody else, which is improper. If you have passed 12th and left school, you are not eligible to participate.
Uh,
We need you have passed and left school, you are not eligible to participate. I don't think you are eligible to. Sharon, is he eligible to participate? Once he leaves 12th? Sharon?
Since he has finished class 12, he is not eligible to participate. He is not eligible.
Uh,
Can we submit more than one project? As an abstract, you can.
Sharon ma'am, a lot of students are asking that when will registrations open? And since they aren't open, how should they proceed with submitting their data?
So as of now, the registrations are not open. The registrations, like last year, the registrations opened in July. We hope to be able to open them in the first week of July, even this year. That will give you enough time to actually register your project because the portal for submissions will be open right up to September. So that gives you about 3 months to uh, submit your project. This is the right time for you to be sitting and writing your synopsis, for you to be able to collate all the information together and have everything ready so that when the time comes for submission, you can submit your synopsis and the supporting documents, with a very calm and clear mind.
And you can also follow us on our FB page, Facebook page, so that you know the times, the schedules, everything in detail.
Sir and ma'am, another question is what about the projects of this year? Will they get an upper edge as they did not get to showcase on the international level?
So I think that's a fallacy because they did get to showcase at the international level. There was ISEF was held virtually this year, and so all projects from all 80 countries were invited to showcase at ISEF, but virtually. So our students, our winners, had actually sent videos of their projects, and those videos were there on display. They spoke about their projects, they sent in their posters, and they were part of the group from 80 countries that were invited for ISEF. All students who went for the virtual ISEF this year will also be given certification for the same. And no, they cannot participate in IRIS 2020-21 with the same projects, not at all, because those projects have already been
Evaluated,
showcased.
showcased, and
Yeah.
evaluated. Dipanshu, Dipanshu, it is your smartness to spare your time and study as well as do the project. You have asked, how can I manage my class and my project? That is your smartness.
So for all of you who asked for information regards the IRIS website and where you can send emails with your queries to or where you can call and speak to people, this is contact information. Please make a note of it.
Sharon ma'am, there's another query where
Yeah.
they're saying that if a student had participated and post their standard 10th board exams, they change their school while the project is underway. So how will such a project be treated in IRIS?
So IRIS does not have any problem with a student changing its school. However, the confusion arises when you have a team project that you have started working on with somebody in your old school, and then you go to the new school, and the team project suddenly becomes either an individual project or you try and get a new team member. In that case, you will need permission from your original team member, a written permission with the person's signature on the old school letterhead, which says that the person that you have worked with on the project does not have any objection to you taking this project forward. We have no problem if you are in, let's say, school A and you submit your project and then you clear your boards, and you've gone to another school. That is not the problem. The problem is if two people have been working on a project and one person stays back in the old school while the next one goes to the new school, then there could be a conflict. So we require you to give us written documentation saying that the second person in the team does not have an objection to you going ahead with this project.
Sir, a query has come in where they say that the student already has an idea and they wish to know how the feasibility of the project on a large scale compete against the innovative thought behind it.
It all depends on what branch you would like to work on. And second is, unless you work out on the experiments and prove yourself, you won't be able to extrapolate and say that how it's going to work at a large scale. Recognition cannot be granted based on the idea you have. It has to get translated and proved, and then you can carry it forward. That's not a problem at all.
Sharon ma'am, one student asks, how many students all over India have participated in IRIS?
I don't think it's necessary question at all.
True that.
For a political actually.
Yeah.
Elementary topics for beginners, class 5 or 6 level, if you could cite one or two examples that they need a kickstart. Maybe it's from a teacher.
Yes.
Maybe it's from a teacher. Maybe it's from a teacher. Teacher, you have to come out with that idea. If I give you that idea and then you make it, then it doesn't make any idea. I don't want to influence my thoughts on you. Yeah, my topic will be biased because I have worked all through my life on soil sciences, soil composting, composting mechanisms, earthworm composting, vermicomposting, all through my life for about 40 years today. So my ideas would be biased to myself. So you must come with ideas. You prepare your ideas and thoughts. Don't worry about it. Should be fine. You see, we are proud of one of our students. In fact, Sharon used to talk a lot about him. Saad. Saad has come out with a major company. Today, his virtual videos are floating everywhere. And he was with Iris with us. Is it Sharon?
Yes, that's true. Saad, actually, yeah.
Today, he is a owner of a company. And he was a junior. So you can.
So another question has come in. Can 2020 participants submit their project if they have upgraded the project?
Unless there is something unique and new which is being commended by the SRC with the concerned SRC, I cannot guarantee that the project should be accepted. If supposing there is a better project which is competing from this year's fresh project in the similar phase or the similar group, then that may be considered. There is no guarantee that it should be considered.
Another query is that if a student has created a project and due to some problems they cannot present, how should they then present their project?
Then you can stay at home and have it published separately. We cannot entertain that. We expect a physical presence of a student during the IRIS National Fair, unless in case of some problem, if it continues, and the IRIS board of all the sponsors decides that we are going to go virtual, then it is okay. Otherwise, when we do an IRIS National Fair, your physical presence is required. Otherwise, you'll be disqualified. Yes.
So we're trying to give you a video to watch of some students past. If we are able to, we will show you the video, and then you can gauge for yourself as to what happens once you go to IRIS.
So another query is that if a student supposedly comes up with a theoretical idea of a working machine, and that should ideally work on a large scale model, but they only bring a small working prototype, would the feasibility of it affect more if the size of the model was as they projected it to be, or will the prototype work?
Well, if which you have designed is scientifically correct, and we have wonderful professors from IIT and other people who join us for the evaluation in the SRC. And in case they evaluate and say that this is a brilliant idea, it can be translated into a working machine. It also has the potential to be patented by the candidate. Yes, we will support. We will support. It is not essential that you should bring a big machine, which is impossible, but it should be functional. It should be functional. It cannot be theoretical.
So there is a question from someone called Pratmesh Rathore. From the teacher who said, given my given idea could work with his work.
Maybe
So
between you and your what?
So another question is that would patented projects be accepted?
No.
And another.
Patented that you are going in for marketing. You are not going for competition now. It's already been accepted. It includes a present idea, but a different mechanism, a different purpose. Will it be presentable? Yes. Anything unique, anything which has changed, and anything which we feel, the committee feels that it has potential, it is presentable.
So on a line similar to the patent, a student is asking, would they be allowed sponsors for their project?
Sponsors, that you will have to talk to Sean, not me.
And another question from Samyak is, if we create a project that includes a present idea but a different mechanism and different purpose, will it be presentable?
I give the answer just now.
And
Are
another.
the projects which have won in other national fairs accepted? Well, if it already won there, it will automatically get nominated over here if it's from the National Science Fair or anything. But in case it has a real good potential and there is no mention about your project already into Google or anything like that, then we may consider it. How to present our ideas in scientific language? You write in your own language. Don't worry for abstracts as far as possible. Take the help of your teachers and put it as proper science. There's no separate language called a scientific language. The language should be understandable, easy to comprehend, and should be meaningful with less adjectives. Don't add that this is the best project in the world that I have scientifically designed so that nobody else in the world can compete with me. That language is not acceptable in science. Are
I
you
have an
playing?
indication. No, sir. Apparently, the video is. I think some permissions are missing for the video to be played. So
Yeah.
if we get the permissions, we will play the video.
I don't know. WebEx always I have suffered. Zoom works well with me.
We tried it out before and the video played, so I don't know what is the problem right now. But yes, that's okay. And the videos and the recording of the webinar will be available on the IRIS website. So for anybody who has joined late or who has missed out on some of the conversation, we would like you to go to the IRIS website and to log in there. For any other information, please email us at contact@IRIS National Fair.
That's true. Good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
And
Sharon,
for
Ishita, and all those people over there. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
thank you, all of you,
Thank
for
you.
joining us on this webinar.
Participants, thank you.
We
Bye.
hope to see you for IRIS.
Yeah, look forward.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
वो जब मैम